Hey, good afternoon, everybody, or maybe good morning if you're out on the West Coast. A reminder of a couple of quick housekeeping items. Go ahead, if you don't mind, put yourself on mute or leave yourself there if you're already on mute. Go ahead and add your affiliation next to your name on the Zoom ID. As always, if you need record permission, we've got that as well, although Scott's going to be audio only for this session. And if you have a question, hit the virtual raise hand button and make sure that you are part of the Q&A here in just a bit. Well, as you know, it's certainly a quick turnaround for the NTT INDYCAR series as we return to the road course at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for Saturday's Gallagher Grand Prix. Coverage begins at 2 p.m. Eastern on USA Network, Peacock, and of course, our friends at the INDYCAR Radio Network. And our guest today has some really good momentum heading into it. Last weekend, it was pole and podium on the streets of Nashville, and has now worked his way into fourth place in the NTT IndyCar Series season-long championship standings. This weekend, he drives the number 3 Gallagher Team Penske Chevrolet. We welcome in Scott McLaughlin. Scott, thanks, first of all, for doing this.
No worries. No, thanks, Dave. Yeah, great momentum. I think we've worked out it as a team with sort of average 5 position after the last 7 or 8 races. So we've been knocking out the results when we needed to, and yeah, really proud of it. So yeah, hopefully we can do another one, be in the Gallagher car this weekend at the Gallagher Grand Prix.
Yeah, and as mentioned, heading back to the road course, it's kind of been a mixed bag for you there. What will it take to keep that momentum going fresh off Nashville?
Look, it's obviously a pretty important race for us as a unit, being Roger's house. But look, I feel really strong. I mean, it hasn't been probably my best track the last couple of years. I mean, ever since I qualified in the Fast Six on my first year and my first Indy GP, I was it's been really tough since then. So for me, I've just got to make sure I lock in, work with Benny, which we have been on the simulator the last couple of days. Just figuring out a sort of new sort of setup sort of philosophy, because I think we need to find something different to what we've been doing lately, because it just hasn't been good enough at the Indy road course. So we'll keep working, and hopefully it works this weekend, and we, like you said, carry that momentum through.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and open it up for questions. Again, if you have one, hit your virtual raise hand button. And let's begin with Bruce Martin from Forbes and NBC Sports. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, guys. Hey, Scott. How you doing?
Hey, Bruce, how you doing? You all right?
Good. Last year you battled all the way to the last race of the year for the championship. This year, Alex has got a pretty big lead, but I mean, do you still see second place in the standings as a realistic goal in play for you?
Yeah, absolutely. For us, second is a massively realistic play, and something that we're working on. At least top 3, obviously. We're not too far away behind Dixon, but yeah, for me, I'm working pretty hard on that right now with Benny, like I said before, and but yeah, certainly in our sights, if things happen, which I highly doubt it. Alex has been solid all year, but we will give it a go for the whole thing. But absolutely, our main objective right now is to get in the top 3, but maybe get second.
And I was talking to Shane Van Gisbergen earlier this morning, and he said you two got to spend some time together, and also you were at the simulator together. From your side, how did that go?
Yeah, look, it was good. I saw him at the simulator the other day, and I felt it was cool to have him. He actually come into our session just watch me race around for a little bit, and it was funny, the differences between the NASCAR and the INDYCAR for him. And he was laughing at that, but yeah, look, excited to sort of race in the same weekend. I think he's going to jump on the pit stand or something like that during one of our sessions or the races this weekend. But yeah, super cool to be racing on the same weekend as him and Brody, and it's gonna be an awesome thing.
And finally, I know that nobody in the series wishes any bad luck on a fellow competitor, but I mean, do you kind of hope that at some point Alex gets caught in a traffic jam or lost on his way to the track or something? Because
I mean,
he's got a race and a half's worth of lead.
Yeah. Although I would just like to have some of the luck he's had. If he can rub some of that on me, that'd be fantastic. But no, we're he's doing a phenomenal job. He has the opportunity and he takes it. You can't be angry about that or whatever. It's just what it is. We've seen Dixon do it over the years. We've seen Joseph have it. Will have it last year. When things are going right, you've got to take control of it, and he's done that. And you can't be upset about that. You've just got to work harder and be better. And I really enjoy trying to be better and trying to make my team to be better. And I think he's making us do that. It's certainly a good thing. We always knew he was going to be strong after he got through all this sort of legal drama and whatever was going on last year. That must have been pretty hard on the old head. So we always knew he was going to be really strong.
All righty. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce. Let's go to Charles Bradley, motorsport.com. Hey, Charles.
Hey, Dave. Hi, Scott. Just wanted to check in with you on your Indy road course form. You touched on it there, how surprisingly ordinary it is compared to all the other road courses. Any reasons why? Have you been able to trace anything or find anything in the simulator?
Yeah, I don't know, Charles. It's just one of those things. I think we've battled with qualifying, which has been a bit of Achilles heel there. I think we've qualified. I haven't been in the fast 12 the last couple, so where that's I feel it's been reasonably automatic for us on road courses. So that's on us. It's on us finding everything. But at the same time, there's a lot of it's just a very it's a tight field there. If you miss it by a little bit, you're going to be back there. So there's not much room for error, and if you are off by a little bit, it does affect you and stuff you around. But I'm very confident we can go back there and be okay. I feel like our race car is really good. We always race well to the front, but the qualifying car is definitely our Achilles heel, and hopefully we get on top of that this weekend.
Now you're right behind Dixon in points. What would be a suitable trophy for the top Kiwi in the series?
A beer. Yeah, probably that. I don't know. We don't really talk about it too much, but I didn't even really think about that till you just raised it. So yeah, it'd be pretty cool to beat him in the championship. But there's certainly a few things we've got to do till then. But it's I'm proud of our fight back. I'm proud of what we've done so far. Me and Benny, I feel, and the team. We've been really solid the last few rounds, and that's really all you can ask. And keep the positivity up, and hopefully we're thereabouts come Laguna.
Speaking of Kiwis, obviously Shane's going to be around this weekend. You're looking forward to just showing him around the IndyCar paddock and showing him what it's all about?
Yeah. It's going to be awesome. I think, I don't know how much time he's going to have, but I know he said he was probably going to pop past a fair bit and check it all out. And he's a racer, man. He loves it, and between his truck and his cup, he's going to be out here and supporting us where we can. And I know Brody's the same. So, super excited to see these guys. I'm not staying Sunday. I'm actually going to go home and watch it from my couch, which will be a fantastic thing. No, you know what? I'm not. I'm flying to New York to pick up my dog and then driving home 10 hours. So I'll be driving and listening to it on the radio.
All right. Go well this weekend. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Charles. If it's Kiwi or Australia, let's go to David Turner from David Turner Racing World. I'm sure you got a couple questions. Go ahead, Dave.
Thanks very much, Dave. Hey, Scott, one of the things I was interested in from a driver's point of view, it's not often that you get to go back to a circuit twice in a season, and you're obviously back at the road course this weekend. Does the track evolve from how it was in May to how it's going to be this weekend? And does things like, the temperature difference that we had in May to what is now the height of summer impact on how the car performs there as well?
A little bit, and it's also a little bit on the track usage side. I think we're going to be one of the first people on the track, and there's not much support categories apart from NASCAR on the track, so the rubber is probably going to be down. So it's a little bit different in that regard and how you prepare. But like you said, we've been there before and tried it, so it's I feel like we've got a really good handle of where we want the setup to be. But yeah, certainly it's going to be an interesting weekend if we don't get on top of the car straight away in practice one. The temperature's a little bit different, like you said, a little bit hotter this weekend than it was in May, but thankfully it wasn't too cold in May, so we've sort of got a nice little base there.
And then just touching on the NASCAR thing just for a second, obviously there's a lot of talk about Shane and rightfully so, but this competitor as well, and Brody Kostecki coming in this weekend. It's a big opportunity for him as well. That's sort of going a little bit under the radar, mainly due to Shane, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Shane's efforts at Chicago was always going to put anything under the radar, but Brody's very good. He's very good with the car, engineering wise. He's very, very talented. So I fully expect him to be okay. I think, I guess, he's going with a car that, basically won last year too. So I think, Reddick won last year in the RCR thing. I think he could quite easily have the pace to win as well. So it's going to be super interesting how he goes. And I think Kobayashi would be pretty quick as well.
Yeah, no, good point. Well, enjoy the weekend. Hope it goes well for the Thirsty Threes, and enjoy the road trip with the dog on Sunday as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll enjoy it, but I'll have good company. That's the main thing. Thanks.
No sweat. See you soon too as well. Thank you.
And 10 hours worth. A lot of get to know me time with the dog. That's good.
Oh,
yeah. Eric Smith, Race Review Online. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Scott, you mentioned Iowa race weekend about how close you were working with Joseph and learning the track and how good Joseph's been there. Will's pretty good at this track here. Have you bounced anything off Will, or you mentioned how quick you need to kind of get up to speed on Friday? Have you leaned on Will for anything for the Indy Road course?
Not a huge amount. I mean, we talk a lot as teammates, but the Iowa thing was sort of more so how I was racing, and how I was, trying to get through traffic and stuff. Joseph's phenomenal in that regard. So, I think we're in a really good spot. Indy GP wise, just from my knowledge, but yeah, I don't know. I think I can bounce a few ideas off it, but it's like I said, for me, it's just qualifying and figuring it out myself, driving wise.
And about a year ago, Gateway, when you finished third, you kind of talked about how you're disappointed, and it felt good to be disappointed with a third place finish, and you're really just starting to find yourself in IndyCar. And here we are a year later, and you're fourth in points, and you're right there. Do you feel even further more at home with IndyCar these days? And does this feel like you found a place here now? This feels home. This feels right.
Oh yeah, no, right now, like I feel really at home. I think last year especially, but even now, even from knowing everyone in the paddock and seeing people and whatnot, it's really, it does feel like home, and everyone's been so nice and cool about us being here, and which I appreciate. A lot of people could be, quite frankly, could be, asked us about me being here, or being not nice, but everyone was really welcoming, and that's not just from a team level, that's drivers as well, that's team owners, it's everyone. It's probably the most welcoming sort of paddock I've ever been a part of, and it's made us feel welcome. And then from a performance perspective, obviously when we have good results and pole positions and stuff like that, you're just adding to what you I guess proving that you belong here, because it's tough. This place is it's full of the best drivers in the world and most competitive teams. So I really enjoy it, and yeah, can't wait to be here for a long time to come.
And my last one, you're obviously pretty frustrated, Nashville, after the race. How long do you let something like that, stick in ball sports, you hear athletes talk about a 24-hour rule. If they bask on a win for 24 hours or they sold for 24 hours and they get over it, how quickly do you get over Nashville and turn to Indy and focus on the next race?
Yeah, look, we've got a 24-hour rule. I wasn't too frustrated. I was more just like, I was a little bit bummed that we missed out on the win. They were so close 2 years in a row, and especially after having pole. But we've always got a 24-hour rule, but it really didn't take me too long. I was pretty happy. Our momentum, like I said, we had a really strong weekend. We led laps, we got pole. The last few races have been fantastic for us, and I think we started on the front row 4 times in a row now, which is pretty cool. And yeah, if we can just keep carrying this momentum, that's what, like, it's a big thing in IndyCar. It's probably the biggest in any motorsport. It's just the momentum that you have, the confidence that you carry, because you can lose it pretty quickly. So hopefully we can have another good run this weekend and carry it into the last 2 races, especially a place like Portland where, I won last year and we led basically every lap apart from 4 of them. So it's, hopefully a really strong end to the season for us.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Scott. Good luck this weekend. And thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
You got it, Eric. Ben Johnston, the paddock guy. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Scott. How you doing?
Hey, man.
Scott, so obviously, like you're going into the Indy GP this weekend with a lot of momentum from the streets of Nashville. What can you take from Nashville? Obviously, I know they're two completely different tracks, but in terms of like your performance, what can you take from Nashville that you can bring forward to the Indy road course?
Not much. It's just the street course with road course is very different, but especially this one because it's like a billiard table out there, very smooth and a little bit different grip level. But really proud of our street courses. I felt like every street course this year we were really strong. Road courses as well been okay. But yeah, look, not a huge amount for me. It's just like I said, momentum and confidence. Sorry, excuse me. I think we're in a nice spot as a team. We know what we want. Even though, like we said before, like we've had some bad results. I feel like with that Indy road course I'm talking about, I feel like really duck into, why was that and where we're going with the car setup. And we've really kind of revolutionized it a little bit for this weekend. It's definitely a new setup for me. And, I'm excited to try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we have to try something because all our setups before haven't worked. So we're gonna keep working here. But I just got to take a bit of confidence and trust in the ability to tune a car nicely and get it going, and we'll be good.
Excellent. Well, best luck this weekend.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Dave.
You got it. Ida Wood, go ahead with Scott McLaughlin.
Hi, Scott. Two questions. The first one is, I know back in 2019 you had a big crash and brain injury concerns, and we've seen what Simon's been going through at the moment. And having gone through something similar myself, it's really hard to tell in terms of recovery if you're getting better, if you're getting worse with concussion. Based on your experience in supercars and also the INDYCAR medical team, how do you feel about this topic? And when you've had big crashes in INDYCAR so far, what's been the procedure that you've had to go through to kind of prove your fit drive, and when getting out the car to also prove, you're cognitively sound as well, if that makes sense?
Yeah. Every year we go through tests with AMR safety team and Dr. Julia. She's, first class in the IndyCar stuff. Is absolute first class, best I've ever been a part of. That's concussion tests, that's impact tests, that's hearing tests, all that stuff. And it's the most intricate process that I've been a part of in my motorsport career. And that's not saying anything in Australia that I did was bad. It was just, this is just really thorough. And I've really enjoyed that. But I think what Simon's going through, I can't comment on how he's feeling or what his problems are. I'm surprised at everyone that he's not back yet, but that's obviously it's up to the teams to clear him and the doctors, and they haven't. So main thing is him getting better. But I think if he's listening to them, it's the best advice you can get. It is truly some of the best stuff. Some of the best advice that I've ever had, and I think the response from the AMR safety crew when we have problems, when we are, having a crash. My crash at Indy a couple of years ago, I did a concussion test straight away. I had a full body medical exam straight away, X-rays, everything, and it was really thorough. And the new medical trailer that they got is first class. So he's definitely been given the right advice, and there's nothing that's bad about the IndyCar medical team. It's really, really strong. So. I can't really comment on his problems right now, though.
Well, it's all very encouraging to hear that they are that thorough as soon as you're out the car. My second question is, you said you were going to show Shane around the pit stand and introduce him to a bit of the IndyCar world. Obviously, he won the New Zealand Grand Prix 2 years ago, so he's very quick in a single seater. Surely you're going to try and convince him to join you on this grid in the future, because that's a box he still needs to tick, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but I think at the same time, he's found a really nice home. Obviously doing what he's doing with Trackhouse and stuff. So I think he's pretty sold on the whole NASCAR thing, and that's completely, that's awesome for him. I don't know. I think he would love to try. He'd drive anything. He's a bit like myself. I don't think he really cares, but I welcome him to IndyCar. I'm never going to pressure him. He can always come on his own, I'm sure. He's got enough contacts and enough people that think he's great. So he'll sort it out himself. But I think he's got a really nice home at NASCAR for sure.
Awesome. And enjoy the road trip with Dog.
Yeah. Thank you, mate. Cheers. Dog and wife. Don't forget my wife either. It's not just my wife.
Let's go, Tommy T, Amarillo Motorsports. Go ahead, Tommy.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Congratulations, Scott, on your podium finish in Nashville. In the post-race interviews, you were pretty vocal relative to the fact of the restart at the end of the race. You also presented an intriguing solution to those challenges. Have you ever had the opportunity to sit face-to-face with INDYCAR officials to express your concerns about these restarts?
No, we meet every week. And I think there's things that they want to change during the year and things that they don't want to change. And I think at the end of every year, we also have a big sit down as drivers, which is, really awesome. And they don't have to do it, but they do it. They definitely do listen to us. I guess I was annoyed. I wasn't annoyed at having restarts at the end of the race. I guess you get annoyed when you're racing up the front and you just know the cluster our rules create with the way that, you can pass basically straight away. And when a green flag flies, because there's always, concertina effect. Some people get run, some people don't, some people jump it nice. And then, when you have people that really want to make positions from 20th back and then just causes untimely yellows, that then we have red flags and stuff. And it's frustrating from a person up the front. But, that's all part of it. I just feel like my suggestions were, it's just, that's how I've done it in the past. That's how many other categories in the world do it. I think it's a very simple fix. And I know for a fact that speaking to other drivers, it's a popular sort of, idea, but it's up to INDYCAR to implement that. And I'm sure that all of us drivers will put forward our ideas for sure.
Your racing IQ is through the roof, and we all know that. If there would have been a similar green-white checker like you see in NASCAR, would the finish at Nashville been any different, in your opinion?
Having a green-white checkered?
Yes.
No, I don't think we need to do that at all. I think what we do now in terms of finishing, making sure we finish the race, red flagging when we can, I think that's fine. It's more, and I don't think a green-white checkered really, it's just, I don't think we have the cars. I think that'd be kind of dangerous if you think about it, especially if we're crashing like they do. But I think it's just a quick fix in terms of just where you position where we can actually pass, where drivers can pass before when the green flag gets flown, just so you can get the flow of the race going. Rather than it's green out of turn 10 for us. The first 2 or 3 cars go single file. But then after that, people have got different runs. People come in at different speeds. People see bigger opportunities. They have bigger runs into 10 to make a pass. It's just a simple fix that would just be equal for everyone, and that's why I think we should do it. I don't think we should do a green-white checkered at all. No.
Congratulations on Nashville. Good luck in Indy, and thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Tommy. Let's go to Roy Akers, Midwest Sports Scene. Roy, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Tommy T. Thanks for taking the bulk of my question, but I'll go. I just love it. But anyway, I will ask a follow-up. To me, this is like a spectacle of racing this weekend, where you have the 2 top racing series based out of the U.S. racing on the Indy Roval track. Roger's known for doing everything first class. Do you guys kind of consider this like a spectacle of racing? You have 5 races, 4 on the same track, I understand, and I think one's at Indy Park. Are you guys kind of stoked to have both series there, where you can kind of pick each other's brains and that kind of thing?
Sorry, yeah. We, I was actually chatting to Ryan Blaney the other day, a couple others. I mean, we don't really pick out each other's brains too much, but we do have we keen interest in what everyone's doing, and for me, I think it's interesting watching onboards from each other's cars, on the same weekend, because you see where NASCAR brakes compared to us and how fast they get entering the corner. And I think there's different ways. I think it's crazy how you see the differences in lines and what everyone does, throughout the weekend. But we don't really everyone's stuck in their ways, stuck in doing what they're doing that's best for their race car, and that's we don't really have a chance to really chit chat with everyone too much.
All right, just a very quick follow up. Would it be interesting to see an IROC with both series kind of in a cookie cutter car, kind of like they used to do, and maybe do that at Indy where it's kind of a fair thing, and you guys kind of have a very special race geared for drivers in all series, and maybe even another series kind of get mixed in?
Yeah, I can see where you think that'd be cool. I just think we're at a very important part of all of our racing seasons. There's only a few races to the playoffs. There's only a couple of races to the end of the year for us. So I don't know if this time of year would work for something like that, but I can see it'd be pretty cool. But yeah, it's that's probably not going to work at this time of year. I feel like everyone will want to focus on the real stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roy. Time for one or two more. Let's go to Alejandro from Pit Lane Motor. Go ahead.
Thanks, Dave. Hi, Scott. As I can see, Indianapolis Motor Speedway wasn't your best circuit. You personally say fourth last year, if I remember well. Considering your great momentum in the last three races with 3 top 5s, does these results make you confident to break this barrier of fourth and to achieve a podium in this mythical circuit, this mythical track?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think I feel like I said before, I think our race car is really strong. It's just a matter of being able to qualify a little bit further at the front to give us a better shot. But I have no doubt that we're not far away from hitting that nail on the head. I feel it's a track that I feel very fast at, and for sure I think you can pass reasonably well there too. It's just a matter of a few things going right for us earlier in the weekend, and hopefully we can get on top of that. But yeah, I'm fully, I think I can really, put a good solid race in to potentially get a podium and/or a win. I fully believe we can do that.
And speaking about 2022, you have finished the season with a great momentum, achieving 3 podiums in a row. What similarities are? How similar is the car, the team, and yourself as a driver the last year comparing to this year to repeat or even surpass that result?
Yeah, I think we've got a very similar team. Engineering and mechanics and everyone's very basically the same, one or two people. From a driver, I just feel like I'm way more experienced as well. And looking back at setups and stuff, Nashville, we basically ran the same setup that we ran last year, and it was reasonably pretty good. So with a couple of changes. I think I'm in a really good headspace. Like I said before, I think I'm in a good spot to continue the same trend that we've been doing, but you can't get ahead of yourself in IndyCar. Like, things can change in an instant. So you just got to make sure you're only as good as your last race. You just keep focused and keep moving forward as a squad. But like I said, confidence is a big thing, and we've got plenty of that right now. So we're just going to keep focused, keep working, and hopefully the good results continue to come. If they don't, we'll just figure out why they didn't come and work harder to get them back on the road.
And the last, outside of the track, there is some speculations, rumors about the silly season for IndyCar 2024, including this Alex Palou situation, that they can move to Formula One or they still continue in IndyCar. As a driver that has its future more or less secure, what is your opinion? Do you think that this is positive for IndyCar, that there is a lot of doubts, a lot of speculations about the future of the drivers and the teams?
Well, I think people are really starting to understand that, I guess IndyCar is probably the most competitive series in the world, and you can't really say otherwise. It's certainly, we're always within one or two, like, you know, a second of each other. It's really solid. You know, there's different winners. There's, you know, plenty of race strategy. Yeah, between the teams. Yeah, and the racing product right now is really good, and we see that in our TV numbers. It's really strong, and then obviously the speculation with Alex. You know, it's probably no lie that he's wanted to go to Formula One and have that opportunity. You know, I certainly, you know, hope he does get an opportunity. I think he's very good, but at the same time, you know, we want him still in IndyCar at the same time as well. But it's cool that, you know, Formula One teams are really starting to take notice. Other series around the world are really starting to take notice of how good this product is and how good we are as a series. And you know, that's a testament to the people in it and people in the outside marketing departments, social media, you know, really promoting the series. I think we've really taken a step forward this year, and yeah, it's putting everyone on the map, which is really cool. And yeah, hopefully we can. Hopefully Alex sticks around, but if not, we'll just yeah, see what happens.
Okay, thank you very much. Good luck with this weekend. I hope you can win or you can achieve a podium for the first time in Indy, and thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alejandro. Stand by, Ida. I know you got to follow up. We'll wrap it up, though, with Asher Fair from Fansided. Asher, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dave, and thanks, Scott, for taking the time on a Wednesday. After Nashville, one of the first things you alluded to was the fact that next year's race is the championship race and how you hope to obviously win that to win the title. When you look at your recent streak of almost Alex Palou-like consistency the last 7 or 8 races, do you feel like you're kind of already laying the groundwork to make that 2024 title run, or is it too early to tell?
It's too early to tell. I think everyone said the same thing last year when we had a really strong end of the season. And, you know, you certainly believe that. But like I said, things in IndyCar change a lot. You can have up and down results. And then another driver like Alex can have a really strong, you know, strong sort of mid-season and put the championship really in his favor, which he did this year to everyone. I think what we're doing right now proves what we can do. But it's a matter of being able to do that all season. And, you know, I have no doubt that we can have the pace to do it all season. It's a matter of just putting the races together, and that's from my side and the strategist side and the mechanics with the pit stops. But you know, we're confident that we can keep doing this. We're confident we can keep the speed, and hopefully by the end of it, yeah, we are fighting for the championship next year at Nashville. But like, I don't think we can be upset with our year. I think we've had a really strong run so far. We've got a few more races left, but you know, we can certainly be in the top 3, top 2 of the championship. That'd be a really proud moment for our squad.
Awesome. Thank you very much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Asher. Okay, Ida, wrap us up. Go ahead.
Final question. I asked this to Will a few races ago. We've got the Bathurst International in November, and they're going to include IndyCar demos, but they haven't teased which cars are going to turn up and which drivers are going to be involved. I know Will really wants to be involved because he doesn't want a Kiwi to be there. But have you heard about the event, and is there a chance we might see you on track around Mount Panorama in an IndyCar machine?
I didn't even know that was happening. So, yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty cool to try for sure. But I don't know what's happening there, but we're certainly driving an IndyCar around Bathurst would be pretty awesome. I don't know how hard we could go, but it certainly would be a pretty awesome experience. So, yeah, would love to try that one day. But yeah, no, I haven't heard much of it, but it'd be such a different experience for me because, you know, having been there in a supercar and a GT car as well, and so to go there in an open wheeler, that'd be pretty wild, but something that would be really cool.
Ida, you good? All right. Thanks for joining us, Scott. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Safe travels, and we'll see you at the Speedway.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Driver the number 3, Gallagher, Team Penske Chevrolet this weekend. A reminder, the Gallagher Grand Prix comes up Saturday afternoon. Saturday, coverage begins at 2 p.m. Eastern on USA Network, Peacock, and the IndyCar Radio Network. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you throughout the course of the weekend on various post-qualifying and post-race Zooms then. Have a great rest of your day.